In this video, we're going to be comparing Jira Work Management versus Trello. In the past, I have compared Trello versus Jira Software, and obviously Jira Software is an infinite amount of times better. Sorry, Brittany. But the capabilities of Trello are actually more closely related to those of Jira Work Management. So let's pit Jira Work Management versus Trello because, as a quick disclaimer, I did go up to the product manager of Jira Work Management and asked her, why do you exist? Jira Work Management in the world where we do have Trello doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. So let's compare the two and see what are the differences, because if you're using Trello, awesome. But if your company is using Jira software, you get Jira Work Management bundled in, at least for now. And so it begs the question, if you have Jira software already and you're paying for that, and you're gonna have to pay a separate fee for Trello, why not just use Jira Work Management? And so naturally you're gonna ask yourselves, well, how close in capabilities can Jira Work Management actually replace Trello? And so now this is gonna be a very bare bones comparison, right? We're looking at key functionality. I'm obviously not a Trello expert. This video will make way more sense if I did it in collaboration with my good friend Brittany Joyner, who happens to be the Trello expert. But I'm just going to look at just, again, very basic, very surface level functionalities of columns and creating issues and a little bit of basic reporting and seeing, can we successfully convince our Trello folks to come over to Jira Work Management so that we can simplify our billing just a little bit. So let's take a look. Let's compare the two and see what we got going on.
Don't wanna sleep in, 'cause I got something to prove. I gotta take what I hate and finally make a move.
This video is sponsored by AppFox. So here first, we're going to start off with Jira Work Management. So if you've been following along the series here, you know how Jira Work Management works at this point. It's a very simple yet intuitive task tracker. So unlike Jira software where you have your sprints and your boards and backlogs and story points and all this agileness to it, Jira Work Management is a simple task tracker, right? And so we got columns, and as you've seen in previous videos, it's super easy to add more columns. We have the ability to create issues and cards and be able to move them around. And this is all very dynamic. This text doesn't have to follow any particular method or process, right? It is just a very easy and intuitive, call these columns whatever you want. They become the statuses, and you can move these items around. And you can essentially just, again, track your tasks. Very basic, very simple. There's no agile to it. There's no overhead of figuring out, oh my gosh, we have to be strategic about this, right? None of that. It's just, here's the thing I gotta do. I'm gonna go work on it. Here's all the statuses that I want, and that's it, right? Now, when we compare that over to Trello, here's my Trello board. Here we get essentially the same thing, right? We have this ability to add another list, and it's super easy to add more columns, right? So like do today, right? And so it's easy for me to move them around just like I can in Jira Work Management, because I can just click on this plus button here, do today, which I already have, let's do tomorrow, right? And it's very easy for me to click enter, and then for me to grab this guy and just pop it in wherever I want, and then that's it. So I can move it here, move it over there, and then I can move the issues into it, right? And so from that functionality, from being able to create more columns, both are very, very easy. Now the same thing happens over here. We want to add a card in to do, I don't know, make this video. I can click enter, and now I have this make this video. But what I like now on the Jira Work Management, I can click make this video, but I like that I have a little bit more metadata. I like that I have the key here, and I like that I can see the due date, and I can see the assignee and the priority and stuff like that. Now over on the Trello side, do we get that? So we can click into it, right? And we can add description. So this is description. So you can do the same thing over in Work Management. Now, where's my priority? I don't know that I have any priorities here. I can do date, so let's maybe set a due date. Let's see if it shows up. So we have a due date here. We have members. Let's see if we assign it to somebody. And let's see what that looks like on the card itself. So, okay, so the card starts looking a little bit more like Jira Work Management, but it is a little bit more compressed. I do enjoy that these cards are a little bit more bigger and I think easier to see. It might just be the fact that I'm zoomed out way too far out on this one. But essentially, again, apples to apples, maybe not 100%, but it is still very, very close. You're going to get very similar information from Trello that you're going to get in Jira Work Management. So for me, that experience is basically parity, almost exactly the same. Hey, I hope you're enjoying today's video. I wanted to take a quick second to tell you about today's sponsor. As a Jira admin, how do you keep your Jira instance well maintained, optimized, and free of inactive or unused projects and configurations? Well, you could do this manually by yourself, or you could use the complete admin tool Optimizer for Jira to audit and configure, clean up, and optimize Jira in a matter of minutes. It's the secret superpower helping thousands of Jira admins worldwide keep their Jira instances in tip-top shape. Check it out using the link in the description down below. And now back to the video. Now, Trello does have something that I enjoy way more that is missing in Jira Work Management. And Atlassian, I think this is I think you're close. I think you can do this because I've already seen it in Jira software projects. But Atlassian, all you got to do is, I love the fact that you can add these cards anywhere, right? So you can click on this and just add them to any column. In Jira Work Management, we always have to hit create over here, do the thing, hit enter, and then move the thing over to the column that we want it in. It would be awesome if we can bring in this add card anywhere, right? So I can just do today, this video, and hit enter, and it's already in the column that I wanted from the moment I created it. So if we can add like a create down here, that would be great. But if this is a deal breaker for you, then obviously Trello is a clear winner here, but a minor preference thing in my opinion, because you can always just create it, move it over where you want it. But it would be awesome if the create button existed across the bottom, because then we would be back to like feature parity. So that's kind of like the easy stuff, right? That's just like looking at the very basics of why we use one tool over another. Now, there's obviously way more. And Brittany, if you're watching this video, let's collaborate and let's maybe make an explicit list of what is so awesome about Trello, and then let's compare that about what's so awesome about Jira Work Management. Because at that surface level, this is like it, right? That functionality, as you can see, they're exactly the same. So there really is no reason for you to use Trello over Jira Work Management if your team's already in Jira software. Jira Work Management, as you can see, is going to give you that same power and functionality. Now, there's clearly advantages for being in Trello, right? You get power-ups, which are going to be way more advanced. You're going to have a couple of other things that I'm sure, Brittany, you're going to let me know in the comment section here and yell at me, right? But as you can see, just from clicking around, like at least in this free version that I'm in, we're going to be feature parity for this very basic. So again, we'll come up with some new use cases and give you reasons, real reasons why Trello might be better. But again, if all you're doing is tracking tasks and your team is just doing that basic necessity because you don't want that whole agile overhead, then guess what? Jira Work Management is going to give it to you exactly the same way. And I would argue that another great benefit that you get now in Jira Work Management is you get the rest of this stuff up here, right? So we have this summary tab where we can see a like 30,000 foot view of what's going on, what's due today, what's due next week, what's due this month, right? Everything that we want to set this up with. There's all this visibility here. We can see the recent activity, a priority breakdown, the types of work, right? So we get a lot more metadata here, which in my book is giving points over to Jira Work Management. We have a list view. So if you didn't want to see things in columns, you can just see it in a list view. So it's more traditional to like these Excel type of people that are now being forced to get off of Excel and into Jira. Well, guess what? That look and feel from Excel can kind of be ported over. So you no longer have to like completely change their lives from being in a list type of view to now a board view. So again, another point for Jira Work Management here. And my wife's favorite functionality, because this is totally free. You can do this next part in Trello, but you got to pay. But for free in Jira Work Management, we get a calendar view. So you're able to see, again, once you put that start date and that due date for your issues, you're able to see them nicely in a calendar view, which again, my wife really likes. And it's a functionality that is available in Trello, but you got to pay a little bit of cash. And this is all free, built into Jira Work Management. We also get the timeline view. So you can kind of see this, again, in a more high level view of your dates. And we get forms, which we talked about in previous videos, where you can capture data a little bit differently. We obviously have the connection to Confluence, so that's really good. You can see all your issues in this Jira Work Management. Keep in mind, Jira is in the title, so it looks and behaves just like Jira software. And so you're going to have all the same powerful search capabilities and being able to create filters and things like that, all built in. Again, it's leveraging the backbone of Jira. We also have our reports, right? We have a bunch of different cool reports that we're able to leverage here that, again, are all built in. You don't have to do anything special. And then we got shortcuts to other links and then apps for other plugins. And then we have the in-depth project settings. So according to me, based on my opinion, Jira Work Management is the clear victor. And if you already have a team that's using Jira software, you're already paying for Jira software, then to me, in my opinion, it's a no-brainer to bring your team out of Trello and into Jira Work Management. Because honestly, like as I just proved to you, right? Again, from the basics, I'm not going deep. I'm not doing any power-ups. We're not doing anything in automations, right? But from the bare bone basics, I honestly think you get a little bit more in Jira Work Management than you do inside of Trello. And now you avoid these bills, and you also want to compare like the price of one over the other. But keep in mind that if you're already paying for that Jira software license, then you're technically already paying for that Jira Work Management license. But you should compare like in pricing of Trello versus Jira Work Management and see how that's going to impact you. And having that single unified bill is probably going to be better for you anyways as well. Hey, I hope you're enjoying today's video. I wanted to take a quick second to tell you about today's sponsor. As a Jira admin, how do you keep your Jira instance well maintained, optimized, and free of inactive or unused projects and configurations? Well, you could do this manually by yourself, or you could use the complete admin tool Optimizer for Jira to audit and configure, clean up, and optimize Jira in a matter of minutes. It's the secret superpower helping thousands of Jira admins worldwide keep their Jira instances in tip-top shape. Check it out using the link in the description down below. And now back to the video. So anyways, that's it for this video. If you enjoyed it, sorry, Brittany. I know a couple jabs over at Trello, but what am I going to do? I don't like Trello. I'm all about that Jira Work Management life. I'm all about that Jira software life. And you know, it's Dr. Jira here. So anyways, if you enjoyed it, make sure you smash that like button. If you're trying to convince your teams, maybe you do have people on Trello and you want to bring them over to Jira Work Management or Jira software, then show them my videos as well. Share this video with them. And finally, most importantly, don't forget to subscribe and don't forget to check out the links down below, as they contain the links to help support the channel. So if you want to support the channel, check out the links, get those free 30-day trials, get those paid courses, and of course, check out the cool merch. All right, see you in the next one.
Survive